One thing's for certain, life definitely goes on in the antiques and vintage trade. On most nights of the week you can head out to a pop-up auction where you will catch up with friends, acquaintances and competitors.
Lot number one is a suitcase of fur stoles. There we are, where should we start them?
Having said that, everyone I meet and deal with in my local community are helpful, friendly and always willing to talk antiques until the sun goes down. Auctions are also a great place to make contacts, catch up with local gossip and, most important of all, bid on those unique pieces of treasure that seem to consistently turn up out of nowhere. But, as a wise man once said, for every action there is a consequence. And the consequences of my actions invariably end up in a stockpile of antiques, vintage and collectibles. Not that I'm complaining about it, far from it. The reality of my situation is the very reason I entered this business. To be surrounded by wonderful antique artifacts, vintage treasures and fascinating old collectibles. But sometimes, when you are confronted with a work table overflowing with stock, there is only one sensible solution. Ignore it and go for a breath of fresh air on the hills down the road. Oh well, I guess you can't really ignore it. So what's the next stage of the selling process? Well, now and again you buy at auction with your heart rather than your head. It's only human nature, and that can go one of two ways. Either you get your bargain or you lose your investment if it turns out to be not quite what you were expecting when you research it, or even if you discover damage you hadn't spotted at the viewing. So when you get your haul home, it's really important to fully research it. In today's film, I have two examples that totally demonstrate the two extremes you can experience at an auction. One absolute and very surprising bargain that will deliver a healthy profit, and one purchase where I missed some crucial damage that will significantly reduce the item's value. Anyway, you saw all the items I acquired this week earlier in the film. So which purchase do you think is the star item of the haul, and which one do you think I bought damaged? Wind back the film, see if you can guess and leave your comment below. And I'm sure you won't cheat by skipping to the end of the film to find out the answer before you leave your comment. So let's head down to the workshop to have a quick look at a few pieces from this week's haul, plus a couple of bonus items I've pulled out of storage, and I will reveal all. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Okay, here we are down in the workshop. Now, I'm not going to go through every single item that you've seen in the stash. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours. So what I'll do, I'll just pick out about half a dozen of the most, well, what I consider to be the most interesting pieces. So the first one we'll start with is, and it's one of the heaviest, is this item here. Ugh. Okay, now this is a mould for a casting. I can show you that. It's screwed to the backboard, weighs an absolute ton, and you're probably thinking, why have I bought that? Well, when this is cleaned, waxed and polished, this will be a fantastic piece of wall art, contemporary wall art. And I can see this ending up in a really nice apartment somewhere, a loft space, that kind of thing. So the remnants of the original colours there, it needs cleaning up. This could potentially sell for, I wouldn't say several £100s, but certainly a couple of £100. But obviously, as ever, we'd have to see. There you go. We'll just have to see how it goes when we list it on eBay. Now, another large piece is this stick stand. It's vintage, don't think it's antique. It's got some wear on the top, as you can see there. So a bit of restoration required. Simple construction, but the reason I bought it and what's rare is it still has the original copper drip tray. So you'd put your umbrella or your walking stick in, well, your umbrella anyway, and when you've been out for your walk, and the water off the umbrella would run down into the drip tray rather than going all over your floor. Now that's why they're rare, because they do rot away. They get lost, and as I say, it's quite unusual to have the original copper drip tray. Value wise, I'd probably be asking in the region of £45 for this, and take an offer there or thereabouts. Next up is no great age to this. It's Oriental, I think, in origin. Solid wood. Coopered construction, which means it's made of joined planks. I think that's steel banding around the edge. It's probably only 10 or 20 years old, but it's got a good vintage or antique look to it. Value wise, I think this would sell in the region of £25, either as a massive fruit bowl or for displaying flowers and similar. Here's another piece that I picked up from auction. It's actually a stool on caster wheels, shed built or handmade, and the interesting thing I thought about it is it has a lid. There you go. So it's a really functional, useful piece of furniture. Sometimes I do take the varnish off and polish it up, but on this occasion I'm going to leave it as it is and list it on eBay for probably £30 to £40, £35, and see how we go. But very functional, absolutely rock solid, a lot of weight, and a useful piece of furniture. Now, here is the star item. It's a carver bowl from Indonesia. No, I've made a mistake there. From Polynesia. There you go. Just shows this is live. It's Samoa, that kind of area, and this carver bowl is used to grind up a kind of an elixir. I'm not sure if it's a sedative, but I assume it's involved in sort of religious practices. Now, this was picked up at auction, 4 legs with a little handle of some description there. Now, these can sell for hundreds of pounds, and as you can imagine, at auction I picked it up for next to nothing. I'll be listing this for at least £120 on eBay, and then we'll see how we get on. I may even list it more than that. They are extremely collectible, they're quite rare, and if you look at other examples on eBay, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Spelt K-A-V-A, carver bowl. So this was the surprise purchase from the last auction I attended. I wasn't going to get it, and I was there actually with my dad, and he said, I thought you were interested in that. Nobody else was bidding on it. And, well, in reality, with the fees, I paid £4.30 for it. So, lovely find. I also picked up a whole collection of industrial lamps. They're machine tool lamps. I'm not going to unravel it all. I'll get, you know, sure, you'd know, you know how they expand out. They're adjustable. And the big question I've got is, do I construct a base for them or sell them as is? I'll be quite honest, didn't pay much for them, but I really don't want to go to the time and expense of having cast iron or steel bases made for them. So I'm going to sell as is, and I'll probably list them for around £40, roughly £40 to £60 each. There's a wide variety of them. So they will vary in price. You may have been wondering about this bad boy. Well, I've had this for years, to be quite honest. Came out of my storage. I hope I don't get banned by eBay for nudity, but yeah, when I had my original company called Vintage Freak Limited, this was a prized possession that used to go on all the stalls when I was selling at markets. But I don't think I'm going to list this just yet. It's got a lot of sentimental value, so I'll probably keep it for now. This is interesting. This is an industrial or scientific lamp that I've had converted for domestic use. I have absolutely no idea what it was used for. A Solar 4 Mark II. It's been rewired, pat tested. All of the switches are all still on the back. I've got a stand for it as well. So really not much idea of the price of them at the moment, the listing price that is. So my gut feeling is around between 140 and 180. I think this would look great in a restaurant, bar, or even in someone's house, in a domestic environment. So unusual. I haven't seen any more like this. Needs a bit of a clean up. Oh, it's the cable gone. So there you go. Scientific industrial lamp. Converted for domestic use. Now, these two items here, I thought were going to be the picks of the day, but obviously the Carver Bowl has superseded them. They are GWR brass sconces or candle holders. Now, I'm not sure at the moment whether they came out of a train or whether they came out of a GWR hotel. Now, the Great Western Railway ran from London, and I believe it was Paddington, correct me if I'm wrong, through to the southwest and as far up as Birmingham and into Wales. A historic railway line. So I'd got my eye on these during the auction, and I was thinking everybody's going to bid on them. But they didn't. There's only one other person bidding on it. He saw it was me, so he very kindly backed out and let me purchase them. Now, what I didn't notice was in one of the sconces, the glass tube has a, I don't know if you can see it, but trust me, yeah, you can just about see it. It has a crack. And that reduces the value quite considerably. Bit annoyed about that. There's no way I can get that replaced. It's not dangerous and it's not going to stop me using them, but I wouldn't sell them at the moment in this condition with the crack. I will talk about them when we're back in the office, but I'll probably be keeping these. But a lovely pair of solid brass GWR candle sconces or candle holders. And they also, each one has the original top as well. There you go. So there's the original top to them. So I think they're lovely, really beautiful, historic items, collectible from our industrial past. I also have a selection of lab stands, vintage lab stands that people do buy, and they turn them into light stands or lighting stands. Anyway, 3 or 4 of those. So there you go. Oh yeah, and as part of my Vintage Freak market store setup. Here's Krusty, who was head of security. Did a great job. I don't think I ever had anything nicked off my table. And again, I'm not selling this. Lives with the torso, the mannequin torso. So sentimental value there. I might even wear it out one night. A nice little haul of antiques, vintage and collectibles that I will be listing next week, come what may. I promise you that. Who would have thought that potentially the best buy was that plain and simple hardwood Polynesian bowl? We'll see how it goes when listed on eBay. As for the damaged GWR, or Great Western Railway candle sconces, they are definitely keepers, and I'll find a spot in my workshop or even my house to display them. I think fate played her hand there, as to be honest, I didn't really want to sell them in the first place. Speaking generally, and hopefully you are also experiencing an upturn, sales are definitely picking up compared to the start of October. So I'm now running low on both eBay listings and overall inventory. So now is the time to start accumulating by speculating. And on that note, I will be attending and buying at antique fairs and auctions over the coming weeks, hoping to spot more bargains that have slipped through the fingers of my competitors, albeit friendly competitors. So there you go. As ever, if you are a new subscriber, let me know where in the world you are from, and I will add you to the scrolling list you can see below, somewhere around there. Please like, comment and share to spread the word and grow our friendly community. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.